Welcome to the very first episode of LionHeart Radio. I'm your host, Rick Alexander, founder of Blue Aviv Supplement Company based in San Diego, California. I'm here with my co-host, Claudia.
Hi guys, Claudia Challoner, Doctor of Physical Therapy with Movement RX and nationally ranked powerlifter.
And our other co-host, Memo Ochoa.
Hello friends, Memo Ochoa, co-founder of Blue Aviv.
So what we wanted to do today is give the audience a glimpse into the active lifestyle. Me personally, I own a supplement company based in San Diego, and we have Claudia, who's a physical therapist, and then Memo, one of my co-founders. So over the last 10 years, all three of us have been athletes. Claudia, you're a nationally ranked powerlifter?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so I think what we've seen a lot of things come and go, a lot of trends come and go in the fitness industry. So I kind of want to dispel some of those notions that people have when they first get involved in the fitness industry, and then maybe take a deeper glimpse of like really what goes on behind the scenes, and also, you know, what people can expect when they try to get in. I know if you look at Instagram, you're going to think one thing about the fitness industry, right?
Yes, definitely.
You know, but then if you're an actual athlete who's putting in the work every day, you're going to have a much different take.
Yeah, well, I think that's something to definitely talk about with how the fitness industry has changed over the past several years with the social media, because a lot of the higher level athletes now, to promote themselves and to market themselves, you know, it used to be you just had to, you know, perform well on the athletic field. Now it's more about marketing yourself on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever your social media realm is. And you see a lot of athletes that are maybe middle of the line that are really getting a lot more attention than maybe even the higher level athletes, just because they're better marketers. So it's coming down to more of that marketing business side of things, of getting out there and getting your face.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing about 2016 now is that to be a pro athlete, you don't have to be a pro athlete, right?
No, like, totally not. Yeah.
And I would say at least half of, if not more, of the people that are like really idolized in the industry are not good athletes, right? I mean, it's not.
Definitely
it's
not.
About, like
they
you
just
said,
market themselves well. They look good. I mean, people would rather look at someone obviously that is better looking, you know, hotter, better sculpted than someone who can perform better than, you know, physically.
You see it a lot, and just even in the powerlifting world, like, you know, girls on Instagram and stuff that might be just mediocre lifters with their, as far as the numbers they're lifting, but not have as many followers, but someone that, you know, might be a better lifter might not have as many followers just because they're not good at the social media piece. But then someone that's more mediocre will have like a lot more followers just because, you know, whatever, they're better at the marketing piece of it. So. Yeah,
that's an interesting thing social media has done, is it's taken the barrier to entry away for people to have a voice, like us, to have a podcast right now, which is obviously a good thing.
Yeah.
But it also means that there's no vetting. You have to do the research to vet the people that you're actually taking advice from or paying attention to.
Yeah.
If you look at that whole controversy right now going on with shreds, right? Like, half of their models are all photoshopped, and so people are, you know,
wow.
Yeah, so there's like a big thing. You can Google, just Google shreds, and probably the next thing to pop up will be shreds photoshopped. I don't know.
Oh wow!
But
I didn't know that was like a controversy right now. I mean, I could tell. I was able to tell from the beginning. You know, not to say that it doesn't look good, or you know, I don't like seeing those pictures, but yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
well, I mean, that's a lot of supplements too, or a lot of companies that sell supplements. They Photoshop the hell out of their athletes, and then they make supplements. They put a ton of fillers, so they have a huge margin, and then, you know, the masses are going to follow that. Unfortunately, it's just that's kind of the byproxy of having no barrier to entry when you know.
And even talking from a physical therapy aspect, I mean, there's so much medical information out on the web. I mean, several of my patients will come to me, so WebMD said, you know, yada, 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 and I might have cancer. So, so like, it always ends in that. But so there's so much information out there. So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt and make sure that you know where that information is coming from, because you can really walk yourself into maybe some danger there, depending on who you're watching. Because there's so many, you know, YouTube videos of, you know, different stretches or, you know, mobilizations or whatever it might be, and some of them aren't necessarily good or what you need. So
My favorite are the Globo Gym guys that try to teach you the clean and press. I know you've seen those.
Yeah,
man.
You know what I saw the other day? I was on Facebook and I saw a guy giving a tutorial on YouTube about how to do a clean and press on a Smith machine.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
What are you doing? I'm like, is this real? I couldn't tell. Like, I'm like, I don't know if it was like an Onion article. I'm like, is this
serious?
He was serious.
Yeah.
2016, man. Fitness industry, big business.
Yeah.
Big business.
Yeah. Everyone's looking to throw their hat in.
But I think definitely something to talk about over the last little bit is the niches that have been developed in the fitness industry, like the yoga studios, the Pilates, the 5K runs, the mud runs, the Spartan races, Tough Mudder, all of that stuff that has just blown up in the last little bit.
Don't forget Zumba.
Oh yeah, Zumba, of course. Yeah,
Brazilian
of
butt
course.
lifts. That's another one.
And I mean, even CrossFit too, like, or spin classes. Yeah, all of that stuff has
Right.
definitely like blown up in the last little bit, and people are becoming more aware, I think, of fitness and the fitness industry, or at least getting more exposed to it.
Which is great. And, you know, not talking bad about anything you do, like Zumba. That was kind of a joke. Like, obviously, we're weightlifters here. If you're going to do Zumba, great.
Yeah, you're
Awesome.
moving.
You know, you're doing something. I'm not going to knock you for doing it. That's what's great about, you know, just being active.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about the fitness industry now. If you got so many options, you can do anything.
Yeah, I think some of those are fatty, but then some of them aren't a fad at all, like CrossFit, right? I think we're past the point of that being a fad. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
it's a $2 billion or something economy right now. I mean, and it's shed a lot of light on Olympic lifting and powerlifting and
Totally.
You brought them back from the dead.
yeah, all these sports that essentially nobody paid attention to, especially in the United States.
Yeah.
Now CrossFit has just made huge because people are looking to fill different holes in their fitness and you know.
Well, I think also the community aspect of it. I mean, it's gotten so many people together, develop this community, and now you have friends that you share fitness or share an active lifestyle together. So definitely the community piece of it too. Not only in CrossFit, but you know, you see that in the yoga community too. So
I feel like CrossFit was the main organization that actually brought the whole community aspect back into fitness.
Yeah.
And then, you know, everyone that deviated from CrossFit, you know, whatever yoga, Olympic lifting, you know, just kind of brought that with them. And now you see it everywhere, I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the Tough Mudder is an interesting one too because they blew up. I don't know if those are kind of trending down at this point or what, but
I don't know. I don't know any statistics on it, but I feel like there's so many in the Spartan races too. I feel
definitely
like
think they peaked.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say they're like crashing, but I wouldn't say that they're growing either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole obstacle course phenomenon. I mean, I think obstacle course racing in itself is still growing. I don't know about the brand of Tough Mudder, but
yeah. And then there's the Epic too, which is another. I think it involves more. Actually, they do some like more like almost like strongman kind of stuff and like different. It's a little bit different than I think the like Spartan or
well, Epic was launched here in San Diego. A guy named Tim, he launched Epic Series. He was a founder, and at the very beginning, I went around and I taught strongman seminars on behalf of Epic to try to get people excited.
Oh, okay,
about the race.
okay, gotcha,
yeah. So that's a whole other brand of you know. But I think that says something about the world and technology as a whole right now. Like literally with Amazon, I mean, we could sit on your couch right here and we could order groceries, right? Like, and toilet paper.
It's a beautiful
and
thing.
Cable. And I mean, you could never move from your couch. I mean, as long as you could pay for this, you could literally never move from your couch. And I think us as society, as a human race, are just like dying to get back to some semblance of our roots, which is why things like CrossFit and, because it doesn't make any sense, right? If you can sit on your couch and order food, why in the hell would you run through mud for 12 miles and trash your hands and trash your feet and right? But I think we're all trying to get back to that, some semblance of like our roots and where we came from and that kind of a thing. Which
I think is hugely important because you look at the state of our society now and there's like more than a third of adults are obese and nearly 70% are just overweight. And an average adult, I was reading that an average adult consumes 22 teaspoons of sugar a day. And many adults set for like 7 to 8 hours a day, and some even like up to 15 hours. So it's disgusting. Yeah, right. And so, I mean, that's gonna cost so much money for you know, healthcare and future cost of back surgeries and whatever
Right.
else is going on. So I was also reading that a third of women and then a fourth of men in the US are on diets. So people I think are trying to, make changes, but I think it's just really tough. And then there was like 60 billion spent on diet and weight loss products in a year.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's a huge amount, but and I'm not really sure if that's like the best way to go about it is like this I'm not a big fan of diets per se, just it's about active lifestyle. It's not necessarily like having to go out and exercise, but living that active lifestyle. So same kind of thing about diets, just eating clean and making small changes.
You said 60 billion on...
Yeah,
That's
60 billion, yeah.
So think about this. This is something I think about a lot too, right? If there was a pill, and this is how they're all marketed, right? Like a diet pill. If it could make you feel better and look better and sleep better and perform better, like people are going to mortgage their fucking house for this pill, right?
Yeah, totally.
But you could literally eat clean food and live an active lifestyle and get all of that.
Yeah,
But for
exactly.
whatever reason, like getting to that is a lot harder than just buying a pill on Amazon, I guess.
Yeah.
No one wants to go through that discomfort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course, you also look at our lifestyles. Most people are like working themselves to death, don't have time for exercise or time for fitness or time for taking a walk. So they're stuck in cubicles all day.
Yeah.
Not getting sunlight and stuck sitting all day. So
it puts you in the shitty mood.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
You're just like, I want to, I just want to go home and relax when they would feel way better.
Way better if you, I know.
Yeah, people just get in these ruts, I think. And
yeah, exactly. It's
so
hard. Yeah.
It is hard to get out of those ruts at times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if you set physical goals for yourself, so I know for me, like, if I'm just going to work out for the sake of working out, I'm probably not going to do it. Like, it doesn't motivate me for whatever reason. If I set goals, though, and I'm trying to, like, compete in something or accomplish a goal, it's hard to get in a rut when you're constantly moving forward, right?
Yeah, totally.
For me, it's like if I'm always moving toward a goal, like I'll never get stuck in a rut because I'm too focused on what the hell I have to.
I think that's a huge.
It's important.
That's definitely huge. And whatever that goal is, it could be hiking up whatever mountain. Doesn't have to be super rigorous or competing in a powerlifting meet, whatever it might be.
Just getting competition ready for something in your sport or 5K walk run. It's all relative, but just I think the fact of having something to push
having
toward,
that goal,
it'll always keep you out of that rut.
Yeah, exactly.
And then something else you mentioned was the sugar, 22
teaspoons.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
I think that sugar is a way bigger killer than people realize. And I think people are trying to shed light on it, but there's so much money in it that I think it's just not catching on.
You have no idea like how much product they slip sugar into. I was watching a documentary, like, you take a documentary for a grain of salt, but
yeah, they have an agenda, but
you still
learn a lot.
you still, some of that stuff is factual, like you have to look into it, but they're putting sugar in pretty much any package.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, and people don't realize, like, they see on the package natural, like whatever, but they somehow like slip some sugar in there.
Yep.
And people are just eating it up. And so it's hard, and your body becomes addicted to that. Mm-hmm. It's a huge addiction. Yep. So it's hard to get out of, for sure.
Well, not just sugar, it's high fructose corn syrup, which is, sugar on steroids, basically.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Crazy.
Or synthetic cheap sugar.
So 22,
yeah.
just if you guys want to know, 22 teaspoons is just about half a cup.
Yeah.
Just a half a cup of
almost
sugar.
half.
How much is in a thing of soda? I can't remember the statistics.
It's usually I want to say 50 grams or something? No,
yeah, it's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look that up.
I don't know. Yeah, something ridiculous about how much sugar is just in a soda, just a can of soda. So.
39 grams in a can of Coke.
Oh, okay.
But I've seen it up to 50 on some, I believe.
Yeah, that's man.
Cool. My mom used to run a childcare service, and she would take, things that you would commonly see a kid eating, like a granola bar, and she had it on a poster board, and then she would have a bag of how much sugar was in it.
Your mom is awesome.
Yeah, I remember looking at it like, I'll just give me the sugar bag. I don't know. But parents would go in and be like, what the hell? Like, it makes it real when you realize how much. you're putting into your body, you know.
Did she make you eat all the healthy goods growing up?
She was pretty good about it. The problem is, like, you know, I'd go to my dad's house and be like ice cream every night before dinner. Like,
yeah, the same way for me. Right? Yeah. Cinnamon Toast Crunch in the morning.
Yeah.
No good.
So good. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Fruity Pebbles was mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have kids, but I look at how my mom raised my sister, who wasn't with my dad, so they didn't have to go to that other house.
Yeah.
So, like, she would just pick frozen vegetables as her dessert because that's, like, what she thought would be a good dessert. I'm like, that seems like a much better way to go about raising a kid.
Well,
right?
I think they did a study, and maybe we can bring it up in another podcast, but they did a study on kids and if they would pick like an actual like sugary thing or a more healthy choice of a food. Mm-hmm. And actually more kids chose the healthier option.
What were the ages of the kids?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, it was pretty fascinating. So
I mean, you figure instinct would kick in and be like, yeah, I want that, you know?
Yeah.
I think that looks like a real piece of food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I remember listening to a talk that Greg Glassman, the founder of CrossFit, the CEO of CrossFit now, he was talking about a cancer research program that I don't know if he sat in on it or what it was, but basically they would have these cancerous cells and they were trying to like research on like how they reacted. Well, to keep the cancer alive, they would have to rub this like glucose. Essentially like a steak rub, but it would be glucose in order to keep the cancer alive so that they could test on it.
Yeah.
What the hell is that doing inside of your body right
now? Right? Yeah.
Like that just blows my mind.
Yeah.
But speaking of CrossFit too, it's definitely brought a lot of other fitness industries to the forefront. But then something else that it's done is totally changed the perception in my eyes on how women look at fitness.
Yeah.
For the better, absolutely. Like I know we talked about that in an earlier show, or maybe it was the same show that we're re-recording right now. But,
maybe it might be.
But we talked about the fact that it's completely acceptable now for a woman to want to be strong, right?
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, and in my opinion, like the guys that don't like it at this juncture are just the weak guys that can't handle it.
Totally.
Yeah. It is what it is. Like,
it's pretty awesome how empowering it is for a woman. Because I mean, I just remember like growing up myself as a teenager. Of course, you know, teenage girls are super mean, especially in junior high. Yeah. But I mean, I got called like thunder thighs and everything else. And so I was really self-conscious about like just my natural muscular build. And it's really awesome to now like use it in powerlifting, just squat all day, every day. Mm-hmm. And it's so empowering to be able to like be strong. And I think it's bringing that women are now looking at strength as a goal for how their body and performance versus how they look or what this weight on the scale says. Yeah. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And even for the ones that do care about looks, like it's typically like that. I think that stronger build is like really trending upwards.
Yeah.
Which has got to be a healthy thing, I would imagine.
Yeah. 100%. But you also still have, because the perception in the past has been, you know, women, you need to get toned and you need to do these exercises with lightweight and you shouldn't build that much muscle. You shouldn't look muscular and, you know, be toned. So I think that's definitely changing, which is great. Yeah. So
we've definitely seen a really big explosion of the fitness industry, like we talked about in the last decade, I would say. But what do you guys think about like the next 5 years? Where do you see fitness progressing? I personally think that things are going to keep just kind of popping up out of nowhere. Everyone's like almost trying to recreate the wheel at this point, I think. Like we know that you need to move a lot and stress your cardiovascular system, right? And you need to put your muscles under load in order to make them grow.
Yeah.
But like things like Orange Theory and all these, like I'm just seeing these crazy things pop up. Like have you guys seen Orange Theory?
Yeah.
So like this guy didn't invent anything, right? Like he took a heart rate monitor and he put it on a screen and then he color coded it and he's like killing it. And I'm like, you know, it's awesome. It's like, it's getting people to start working out more and to get active. But I'm like, we're not creating anything at this point. We're just figuring out different ways to get people to buy it.
Yeah.
You know, other than what's already progressing and growing, you know, yeah, I'm very interested as to what new fads or trends come out in the next few years because, when Orange Theater came out, I'm like, what? That's crazy, but it is pretty smart. I mean, it's kind of cool.
Oh,
I've never
genius,
done it, but it does sound pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people, will get down on CrossFit saying like, well, they didn't invent anything. Like I was circuit training in 1995. But they brought like this huge community aspect to it.
Yeah,
they
totally.
made it measurable. They made it, and they did a lot of things.
Everything was just structured a lot better than anything else that was ever done before.
Right, exactly. I mean, you're a hater at that point if you're just, I mean, it is what it is. But
yeah, even that what was it? The TRX stuff where that's pretty cool. Who would have thought? Hey, I'm just gonna hang a couple ropes off this rig here and slip my feet in and do some weird push-ups or those you'll get in the push-up position and bring your knees into your chest. That's kind of different. I'm like, oh, okay. You wouldn't think that that's a tough workout, but yeah, it is. And
yeah,
it's
totally.
different.
Yeah.
Well, it just gives people more opportunities to be active. So I'm definitely a fan of it. So
yeah. All right. Well, I think, is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about as far as the state of the fitness industry before we close the first episode out?
Just as far as being, the difference kind of between competition and lifestyle. So we talked a little bit about that before. So kind of talking about just having an active lifestyle, just being active, not really having necessarily competing in a specific sport such as CrossFit, or actually being a competitor with that level. So you see it a lot in CrossFit. Everyone wants to kind of train like they're going to the games. And what did you say the statistic was? It was like...
Oh, yeah, it's like 0.001%
Yeah,
of the people that start the Open that actually progress through all the levels and make it to the games.
So pretty low. But people want to train like that. And then from a physical therapy standpoint, you see a lot of people that come in. And I mean, I'm a CrossFitter myself, so I'm definitely not down in it. But see a lot of people coming in that maybe have jumped in it too soon or have been doing CrossFit for 2 months and expect that they should be snatching 250 pounds or whatever.
Yeah.
So just understanding the slow progression whenever you start whatever fitness thing that you're getting into. So
as a physical therapist, though, you must have a love-hate relationship with it because the birth of CrossFit as a competition has given you a ton of business, right?
Yeah, it has. But it's also I'm really glad that I am in the position I'm in. So I work in CrossFit gyms, working with athletes and working with the non-athletes too. I have plenty of patients that come to see me that just want to hike. But it's nice because I remember being that person that injured themselves, injured my shoulder. I went to my doctor. I was like, yeah, during my muscle up, this is what happened. And she was like, what are you even talking about? Stop doing that. And, whatever. So I went to go PT. I went to PT and they were like, what's a muscle up? What?
Why?
Yeah, stop doing that. What are you doing? Yeah. And so, and I see it a lot with patients that come to me too of they might have hurt their knee or something because their squat mechanics were horrible. They weren't using their glutes or whatever. It was just their mechanics are totally off. But their doctor just said, oh, you should never squat again. So how in the world are they going to go?
They just don't want to get sued.
Go to the bathroom. Seriously? You've got to squat down to the toilet. You're going to squat down to a chair for the rest of your life.
Right.
You have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And so it's nice being in the position that I am. And because we can go through that movement piece of it and get them back to function. But what I see a lot of is people trying to do too much too soon. And because you're in that class setting, it's competitive. And a lot of people that are drawn to CrossFit are competitive. Right. I mean, I totally am. That's what I loved about it.
Right.
But getting people to kind of slow down a little bit and realize what their own goal is. And if they want to get healthy with whatever it might be, then they might have to take a step back and not be super competitive for a certain time frame. So
yeah, something I think that I've seen kind of trending lately is there's a lot more emphasis on prehab. So medicine in itself is you have a problem, let's fix it with medicine, right? Whatever that looks like. But now I think there's a big trend toward like CrossFit has made people like, well, I have to take care of this. Like I have to roll out. I have to do trigger point therapy because I'm doing 100 reps in one domain and I need to be able to handle that. Right. But like kind of force the hand of athletes. But I think overall everything with Kelly Starrett and everything that he's doing, it's all really catching on, I think.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, there's been several people that don't even do CrossFit that have come to me and be like, oh yeah, like I was reading Kelly's book and this and that. I'm like, that's awesome. That's great. So I think it's definitely just the healthcare system in a whole is changing slightly. We are shifting more to the preventative side of things, which is fantastic. And even as a physical therapist role, people in the past have only come to physical therapists when they have pain. And so I'm seeing athletes and non-athletes that are coming to me and be like, hey, I have a hike in 5 months from now. And I want to make sure that I'm healthy enough to be able to hike. They don't have any pain, but they just want to make sure that they're going to be okay for that hike. Right. Which is awesome. Like I love to see people like that motivated and that in tune with taking care of their bodies. And I think it's definitely going to grow. I think it's only growing.
When did you start like seeing a lot of that,
Well, just with our setting, I mean, I've always seen a bit of it. So over the last couple of years.
Okay. Yeah. Because I feel like 4 or 5 years ago, that wasn't like something most people were seeking to do. Yeah. Like, even me, like when I started, like I don't want to roll out or stretch out. It's I don't like doing it. I still don't like doing it, but I do. Yeah. I see people like you or other therapists to make sure that I don't get hurt. Yeah. So it's good to see that. Yeah, that's changing.
Yeah, no, I think it is growing for sure.
So not to change the subject, but as we're sitting here talking about fitness, I think I broke your chair. I think I sat right through the fucking chair.
I don't know if it's handled a man your size, so.
That's my bad. All day, that's my bad. Less sugar, more movement.
Aren't you running 100 miles in a couple weeks?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, okay. All right.
What's your weight at right now?
229.
Good God.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear about that.
It's going to be brutal. Like 2 days ago, I started researching it. I was looking at 27,000 feet of elevation gain and loss on this race. I'm like,
27?
What am I doing? Yeah. I was like, I shouldn't have done this.
I didn't know it was that much. Yeah. Our buddy Brendan's like, he doesn't know anything about the course.
Yeah.
Buddy Brendan's.
Well, I don't know anything about it by design because the more I learn about it, the more I'm like, I'm way over my head running this damn race.
So Brendan's like, hey man, do you know like the elevation is this and that and just telling him all these stats from like last year's race. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? You're gonna freak him out. Let him just show up and figure it out.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Before we derail this conversation any further,
look forward to that podcast.
Yeah, that should episode. Be a good one for sure.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're probably 30, 40 minutes into this thing.
Yeah, 30.
All right. Well, I think this is a good stopping point. Catch us on episode 2 of LionHeart Radio. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Chip the Rip.
Thanks for listening to LionHeart Radio. Don't forget to rate us and download our other episodes. For your supplement needs, go to louaviv.com, and for your sports therapy needs, visit movement-rx.com. Won't forget this Midwest nigga be the coldest. Cleveland is the city where it's hustle.